Okay, hello everyone, welcome back into the channel. I just want to start out this video really quick saying I'm sorry that it's been a while since my last upload. There have been some family things come up and I haven't had as much time to work on the next video, but I did want to get something out really quick to give you guys an update because there has been a lot of things that have happened since the last video on Kevin Young and BYU basketball. But before I get into this update of what's going on with BYU basketball, I just want to say thank you for the support for the last video, all the views, the comments, the likes, and the subscribers. It really means a lot. This channel is really getting close to the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is really exciting. And I hope to get out some really quality videos to you guys in the future. But I just wanted to say thank you for all the support that's been rushing the channel since I uploaded this last video. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And also, I just want to say, feel free to leave a suggestion in the comments of any kind of topic that you guys want me to cover. I just kind of cover anything in sports that's interesting to me. And so if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. But without further ado, let's get into this update. So like I said, it's been a crazy offseason so far for BYU basketball with Mark Pope leaving for Kentucky, the hiring of Kevin Young. And back when I made that video, he did get some players to come back in Richie Saunders, Dallin Hall. But since then, it hasn't really stopped. There's been some things happening in Provo that lead me to believe that this could be a time where we're entering the golden age of BYU basketball. And the first thing that really caught my attention with the hire of Kevin Young was not only the NBA experience and all the high profile players that he's been able to develop during his time in coaching. It was what he said in his opening press conference that he wanted to make BYU the spot in college basketball for players to develop and get drafted into the NBA, because that's something that BYU has not been very good at the past couple decades. The last player to get drafted into the NBA was Jimmer Fredette. And when you look at the other schools in the state putting out players into the NBA and BYU not being able to do the same, even with all the tournament appearances and winning basketball, it's been something that BYU hasn't had in their pitch deck for the players that have been recruited by them. I will say I was a little bit skeptical when I first heard Kevin Young say that and whether BYU would allow him to get those players that would elevate the reputation of BYU to produce NBA talent. But I will say I would have been proven wrong immediately during this offseason. Kevin Young has put together one of the best staffs in BYU basketball history for developing players with a proven history and track record both in college, in the NBA, and also internationally. So quickly, let's break down the assistants that Kevin Young has been able to bring on and what they bring to the program and what it means for recruiting going forward. So the new lead assistant is going to be Will Voigt, who most recently was the head coach for the Austin Spurs G League team. He has a lot of international coaching experience, Olympic coaching experience. He's even invented his own defensive rotation called the peel switch that I'm very excited to see implemented in this new season. Next up, Chris Burgess, who is returning to BYU after a few years up at Utah. He's a highly respected assistant coach, one known for recruiting in the state of Utah and developing elite big men down low. He's so highly regarded within the state of Utah that he was considered by many to be the lead candidate for the head coaching job at BYU. So the fact that Kevin Young was able to bring him on as an assistant is incredible for the program, and I think he's going to do a lot for in-state recruiting and developing the bigs on the team. Next up, Brandon Dunson, another well-respected assistant coach coming over from Stanford. This guy has a lot of college coaching experience and is going to be a huge asset to the team when it comes to recruiting high-level talent, and is a big reason why they were able to flip Elijah Crawford, the 4-star combo guard from Stanford, to BYU. And also one of the newest hires to be announced was Tim Fanning, who most recently is coming over from coaching in the Overtime Elite program based in Atlanta, Georgia, a competitive basketball league for 16 to 20-year-olds looking to compete at the highest level. This guy has been involved in developing some elite talent, including the Thompson twins, Denny Adva, and this year's projected #1 pick in the NBA draft, Alexander Sarr. So really overall, this is looking to be one of the most experienced, well-traveled, well-respected coaching staffs BYU has ever put together. And it's making it abundantly clear that Kevin Young means business when it comes to developing not only in-state talent, not only nationwide elite talent, but global talent. These guys have roots internationally that are going to recruit all across the globe, which is very exciting to think about what the possibilities are for this program going forward, and it truly being one of the best places in the world to develop young players to get into the NBA. And with NIL opening up the possibilities for these players to choose other paths other than EuroLeague because they can be getting paid in college, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more international talent coming into college basketball. And the Cougars are really just positioning themselves to be at the top of the list of every recruit that's considering coming over to the US. And while Kevin Young is a very well-respected coach across the country, one that really could easily be an NBA head coach right now, this all still would not be possible without BYU's boosters and NIL collectives starting to open up the wallets and shell out the money that's needed to get these players on board. It's frankly really surprising and exciting to see the dedication that BYU is putting towards trying to get the best talent possible, because when they went to the Big 12, I was excited to be able to compete at the highest level, but I was skeptical as to whether BYU was going to be able to commit themselves to getting those elite talented players. And what they've shown in these past couple months is that money really isn't going to be a problem. And when you pair that with the elite coaching staff, the proven track records that they have with developing these stars, it should be getting BYU fans very excited for the future. And that's kind of what's getting me the most excited, is not necessarily the players that we're getting in this draft class, even though I am super excited to see Yegor Demon, Moat Mag, Elijah Crawford, Brody Kozlowski. What's really taking me over the top is seeing the vision that Coach Young has 1, 2, 3 years down the road. Because some of the players that are announcing offers from BYU, every time I see it, I'm stunned. Because BYU isn't really known for offering 4 or 5-star talents that they're doing right now for the 2025 and 2026 class. I mean, just this week, they had an unofficial visit for the #1 recruit in the country for 2025 and possibly the #1 pick in the NBA draft. I mean, that's just kind of unheard of when it comes to BYU. If they weren't an LDS talent or an in-state kid, they're not going to be taking an unofficial visit to BYU. And just the fact that we're seeing that and all the guys that are being offered from BYU, it makes me really excited to see what future classes they're able to land and the level that they're going to be able to reach 2 or 3 years down the road. Let me know your guys' thoughts about BYU's recruiting and where the program is headed down below in the comments. Also, let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.